What's going on, guys? It's GBP baby. Welcome back to another video. I hope everybody's doing well, and yeah, let's get straight into things. Actually, before I start, if you haven't yet joined the mailing list, make sure to check the description, join the mailing list, because I'll start my email newsletters going out in June, so definitely join that. And what an expansive day we've had today. So you'll see I've got all the marking outs from yesterday's video. If you haven't yet watched it, I'd recommend you go check it out, just so that you get an idea of what everything means. But generally speaking, we've got the consequent encroachment of this level, which I was saying that if we trade to this, then we'd likely trade to the high, which is what we saw happen today. I'll speak more on that when we drop down to the lower time frames. We have this implied fair value gap, which I wanted to see get filled, and you can see we've done a little bit more than just fill it. And then this was the sell side liquidity that we've already taken. So in terms of the weekly, now that we've taken out this high, we need to start looking at, okay, since we're taking out this high and since we want to be this bullish, what kind of premium PD arrays could we be possibly trading to? First of all, I want to bring our attention to this rejection block level. Now, what is a rejection block? Well, a rejection block is this range right here. So I'm looking at this long wick as like a bearish order block, because when we traded into it with this wick, what happened? Price got pushed to the downside. So we anticipate that when price trades back into this range, it should act the same way, assuming we are bearish. If we're bullish, price will trade through it, light work, and just cut through it. But generally speaking, this is a rejection block level, so we can anticipate price to find resistance once it gets up here. So I'm going to write weekly rejection block, like so. And then in terms of discount PD arrays, there's not really any on the weekly other than this consequent encroachment now. But when we drop to the daily, hopefully we'll get a better look. So on the daily, as you can see, we've had a massive day, gapping higher as well, showing a level of bullishness. Ran for those relative equal highs after we traded through that consequent encroachment, just as anticipated. And then we now have that weekly rejection block as a potential reach. Now, we also do have this bearish order block right here as well. So it's very possible that this may be the high, or, you know, price may find resistance at this level and then, you know, retrace. However, it could trade through it and reach for the rejection block level. We just need to be prepared regardless. So I'm also going to get that daily bearish order block marked out. And now we have two levels that price can possibly find a significant amount of resistance at moving into Thursday. In terms of discount, like I said, the fact that we've traded through this consequent encroachment means that this should now provide support if we come back down to it. It literally just inverts its purpose. So there's not really much to go off there. We are going to drop down to the 4 hour, and you can see how we had a massive expansion, completely trading through this implied fair value gap range, closing above that consequent encroachment. We haven't yet traded back down to it, and then we ran out these relative equal highs quite nicely. So moving into tomorrow, like I said, we have this daily bearish order block. It'll be nice to see if we can trade up into that, preferably in the morning, so looking at the London session. And then as we're filling that, we will also be filling this 4 hour fair value gap. So you can see that this bearish order block is right above the 4 hour fair value gap, so that will be filling a premium imbalance, and then we can start thinking about potential lower prices, such as this consequent encroachment where we have this massive range. Now, if you remember at the beginning of the week on my Sunday review, I did say I want to see a down close week. This is still very possible. We can get Thursday reversals, and we can have Fridays that run, especially with news. So we will keep this in mind. But like I said, we just need to be careful. But at least now we know we have a level that we can anticipate a potential reversal, and then from then on we know we can look for lower prices on dollar, as in filling in this range, a full upside delivery, whilst hunting for potential longs on the pairs. So let's just get that range drawn out properly. We will jump down to the 1 hour just to get a better look, and you'll see how we traded right into these relative equal highs, just entering a classic consolidation as we move into that Asia session. And again, this is that 4 hour fair value gap that we want to see get filled, and then a potential turnaround over here. Ideally, we do see price turn around here, and I say that because in terms of market structure, you'll see how we've taken out highs up here. So like the fact that we took out this high right here, if we break this high, then it's likely that we're way more bullish than I anticipated, and we can start thinking about way higher prices. Now, I am planning on making an IP to data range video so we can get a better look at price soon. But generally speaking, I'd like to think that it can respect this consolidation. Remember, this is a consolidation. This 4 hour fair value gap and this bearish order block will do its job. But obviously, we'll have to wait and see. If it does its job, we will know about it. Why? Because we'll hit this level at a significant time. That could be 3 a.m. That could be 8 a.m. or 8:30, so to speak. and then we'll see a break in market structure, and then and only then will I start thinking about this fair value gap to start getting filled and a potential run lower. But I don't really want to think about that until we reach here, because like I said, that weekly rejection block is still a possible target, but like we just need to keep an eye on this daily bearish order block. So definitely have that marked out in your charts, and if we trade into it at significant time, we may get a New York or London reversal that can help us with forming trades. Let's go to the 15 minute, and you'll see we had a lot of back and forth action running right up to that 10 o'clock, when we then had the expansion up to the upside. This back and forth action drove me insane. Classic for Wednesday, you know, building in stops. Ran out the buy stops up here, which was nice to see because we anticipated that. Saw this 4 hour get filled, which was also nice to see. Didn't do it in a clean way though, and then it found support on top of that and expanded aggressively to the upside. So yeah, quite an interesting day to say the least. Let's now head over to GBP USD, and we'll start here. I think I've removed everything. I have, apologies, and we'll start here on the weekly. So, wow, yeah, weekly. So we have a fair value gap down here on the weekly that price now may be trying to reach for. If you remember in yesterday's video, we didn't quite trade up into that previous swing high. We have relative equal highs up there. Let's go to the daily real quick. Yeah, so you'll see it left these highs untouched. As far as I'm concerned, we'll probably come back for them later, whether that be next week moving into June or even on Friday. These highs, I don't believe, are going to be left like that for long. So I do believe we are just heading into a discount, and that's completely fine. Now we know we have this massive weekly fair value gap. Oh, excuse me. We have a massive weekly fair value gap down here, and then we have relative equal lows below here. Now, why are they relative equal low? Because this low is relatively equal to this low. So pretty simple concept, but ideally I'd like to see continued bearish action to start running into this low first, and then potentially down into these lows where we'd hit this range. But like I said, for pound to do that, that means that dollar is going to have to carry on rallying as it is, and potentially, you know, disobey these bearish order blocks, which, like I said, is fine. But if you've been watching closely at the charts recently, you'll know that GBP, Euro and dollar are all doing pretty much completely different things right now. So it is making conditions quite messy, generally speaking. But yeah, let's take a close look at this daily. You'll see how we've traded now through the 50% level of it. So I did bring our attention to the open of it because I wanted to see, okay, can we react to it? Clearly not. And we've traded through that 50% level. So this is now irrelevant, as in this is now no longer a bullish order block. It's failed its job, meaning that we need to start looking at the next potential target, which, like I said, will be this swing low. And then on the 4 hour, hopefully we can find some discount PD arrays for us to possibly key off. Again, we do have these lows down here, and price very may well just go and fill that. Like I said, I don't know how bullish dollar is going to need to be in order to get down there, but just have these levels in mind. Yeah, let's drop down to the 4 hour and take a closer look. So you see how we traded higher. Again, just missing this high, but I do believe we're going to come back for these later. I am going to leave this marked out like that. Whether we come back for it this week, again, that I can't tell you, but this low is a likely target for price, and then it'll be these lows if we do manage to dig down deeper. So it really does just depend on what dollar wants to do. Let's see the 1 hour. You see we delivered very, very, you know, bearishly to the downside. We do have a consolidation right here. Let's take a look at this, and you'll see how we're just finding support on that. So what we might find is we might find a little rally in the morning tomorrow, and then price may try and break lower and run down to fill this fair value gap and trade into this breaker right here. So let's get all this marked out because I'm not being very clear right now. So we have sell side liquidity right here. We'll make this darker. Below here, this is a weekly fair value gap, but I'm not going to keep this open. I am going to just lighten this up slightly, just so we know. And then if we were to take out this low, and we aren't to take out these lows, it will be this breaker which I'm looking at. So we have a low, a high, a lower low, and then price is delivered to the upside. So I'll pay close attention to this breaker, because let's say that price does get down here, and then let's say that dollar does manage to trade up into that bearish order block. If dollar wants to reverse, it's going to key off the bearish order block. GBP will be okay to then key off this breaker. So I'm going to get this marked out. We'll make this orange, and we'll call it a 1 hour breaker. Just because we should ignore it as it is there. But if that gives away, like let's say we start digging deep into that, then we'll probably run for these lows and try and fill this entire gap and entire range, which would be very interesting if we did. So that's what I got my eyes on for pound. Like I said, I'd like to see some kind of rallying in London that will allow us for some nice setups to then break lower and run down into this hourly breaker and potentially these relative equal lows down here. But like I said, it does depend obviously on how bullish dollar wants to continue being. So let's finish up on Euro USD, and I did do some back testing by the looks of things. If you want to see all of this, join the mailing list, because I've done a lot of back testing, as you can see on the 5-minute, showing trade setups and whatnot. So definitely join the mailing list to find out what that's about. We will go to the weekly, and you can see how we're now starting to tread down into this weekly fair value gap. Now this is a lot smaller than the one we have over on pound, which is completely fine. Are these two different colors? Sorry guys, I think I'm going crazy. I'm not going crazy. Yeah. So this one's a lot smaller, and then after that it would be this bullish order block right here. And then in terms of resistance, I'm looking at this wick as 50% level. So let's get that marked out as well. We'll make that red and dashed. And then let's drop down to the daily and take a closer look. So you'll see massive displacement to the downside, closing below these lows. Again, this bullish order block has failed its job. So we should be looking for some kind of bearish PD arrays. Now, what do we see? Obviously, we have this weekly fair value gap to fill, but after that, we have a bullish order block open from the weekly here, or we have a daily bullish order block right here. So let's get this daily bullish order block marked out as well. I'm going to write daily, if I can spell, bullish order block, put that on the right, center, make that blue. And then this was a weekly bullish order block. Now, for the likelihood of it trading to a weekly PD array is less likely at this point, I believe. I will speak more on that tomorrow, but like I said, if dollar, let me get my words out. If dollar manages to trade up into this daily bearish order block and find resistance, I'd like to think that euro can trade down into this bullish order block and find support. And then after that, we'd start looking and hunting for some kind of premium PD arrays, such as that weekly consequent encroachment level I have marked out here. Let's now drop down to the 4 hour just to get a better look at price. You'll see we traded up into this breaker, last down close candle, wicked into it twice. Gorgeous break lower, run below these lows. Again, we have a fair value gap right here to fill. This is a daily bullish order block level, so it'll be interesting to see if we find support here. And then, yeah, we just got to wait and see. So tomorrow, Thursday, we do have high impact news at 8:30, so definitely going to be seeing where price is at 8:30. Again, if we are at this level at 8:30, it's likely we'll have like a New York reversal and we'll trade on higher. If we start breaking below these levels, then we can start thinking about this low getting, this weekly bullish order block getting taken, and more bearish PD arrays such as here and these lows getting traded into. Again, ideally, I don't want to see that. But yeah, at this point, it's just a matter of allowing price to continue to fall, because it's not just going to reverse like that. It needs to key off something. So allowing price to get to this level, waiting and seeing if there's a setup, and then based off that, we can go from there. So yeah, if you want to learn more about trade setups and such, definitely join the mailing list. The link is in the description. Don't forget to join the Discord. Smash subscribe. I want to say a massive thank you to all my new subscribers. I haven't said thank you yet since my 1,000 subscribers. So yeah, welcome everybody, and drop a like, drop a comment, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.